PE teacher kept making fun of me because I was not athletic, and I made him vomit from exhaustion in front of the whole class. I was born with a heart defect, had surgery when I was 6. I'm completely fine now, but growing up I was small, skinny, and clumsy, and my parents always told me to take it easy with anything explosive or reactive. No sprinting, no sudden bursts. Long, steady effort was fine. Sprints were not. Our PE teacher was a guy named Coach Renner, an old soccer player who never let go of being the cool jock. He loved picking on the kids who couldn't keep up. My friend Owen was overweight, and one day Renner made him try a gymnastics jump off a trampoline over a stool. Owen couldn't do it. He landed on his head and split it open on the mat. Renner just told him to walk it off and stop being dramatic. Every week was basketball or soccer. My condition meant I couldn't do the stop-start stuff, so I'd have to sit out every few minutes to catch my breath. Renner made that his whole personality with me. "There he goes again," he'd yell across the gym. "Take a seat, champ. Don't hurt yourself." The class would laugh. I'd found peace with a lot of things by then, but I never stopped hating how he made that the joke every single week. What nobody knew was that steady, paced effort was actually the one thing my heart handled fine. I'd fallen in love with road cycling after watching the Tour de France on a rerun one summer. I was too skinny to sprint, and I'd never be quick off the line, but on a long, steady climb, I could hold a pace forever. I bought a used road bike with lawn mowing money and rode almost every day. Nobody at school knew. I never brought it up. Why would I hand Renner more ammunition? Junior year, our school planned a sports day. A bus was taking the class up to a mountain trailhead an hour out for a hike. Renner announced that if anyone wanted, he'd ride his bike up the access road to the top instead, and whoever wanted to join him could skip the hike. I was the only one who raised my hand. He looked at me like I'd made a joke. "You sure? It's a real climb. I'm not waiting around for you." I just said I was sure. He had no idea that climb started a kilometer from my house. I'd ridden it more than 100 times. 12.5 kilometers, steady grade the whole way, nothing technical about it, just pure legs and pacing. I knew every switchback, every shaded section, exactly where it kicked up and where it eased off. He was riding a heavy mountain bike he probably hadn't touched since he bought it. I showed up in my kit on my actual road bike, and he laughed and said something about me looking like I was going to the Olympics. He set a hard pace on the flat road before the climb, trying to shake me off early. I just sat behind him and let him work. When the climb actually started, I could tell within the first kilometer that he was already pushing near his limit, maybe 5 kilometers an hour slower than what I had in me. I didn't attack. That's not what I wanted. I pulled alongside him and said, kind of casually, that it'd be pretty embarrassing if I dropped him in front of the whole class today. Then I took the front and started turning the screw. Not a huge jump, just a little faster. A few minutes later, a little faster again. I watched his breathing change, watched him start pulling on the bars to get more out of his legs. I'd ease off just enough to keep him hanging on, then push again right when he started to recover. I did that for almost 30 minutes straight, reading him the whole way, keeping him exactly on the edge without letting him fall off it completely. I have never enjoyed a bike ride more in my life. By the last 300 meters, near the top where the road flattens out by the parking lot, I put in one real effort. He couldn't answer it at all. He rolled in almost a minute behind me, weaving, and he barely got a foot down before he bent over his handlebars. Then he threw up right there in the gravel, in front of the 6 or 7 kids who'd already gotten off the hiking bus and were standing around waiting. Nobody said much. A couple of kids just stared. He mumbled something about the bike being heavy and needing new gears. I didn't say a word back. I just got some water from my bag and sat down on a rock near him while he tried to catch his breath, since I didn't need to do the hike, exactly like he'd promised. He sat out the rest of the hike, still pale, still not looking at me. I never brought up his heart rate or the pacing or any of it. I didn't have to. He never made a single comment about my sitting out, my breathing, or being weak in PE class again for the rest of the year.